Hey, what's up, guys? This week, Texas A&M goes to Boulder to play the Colorado Buffaloes. And when I watch Colorado, they're really a perplexing team. They've played well against some teams. They played a great first half against Texas. They were actually in the lead, if I remember right, at the end of that, or within striking distance. And if I remember right, they beat Kansas. But this is also a team who's put up some absolutely shoddy displays of football. So the question is, which Colorado team will Texas A&M see? Which Texas A&M team will Colorado see? The thing about A&M is they put together 2 straight weeks of very good football. They played absolutely perfect against Texas Tech, and while it wasn't really perfect against Iowa State, everything was or everything clicked outside of the Wachiku fumble at the goal line. A&M played in the same realm against Iowa State that they did against Texas Tech. The question is, can they do the same thing in the high altitudes of Colorado? I think they can, but will they is a different story. We won't know until Saturday. With Colorado, there's a lot of defensive talent. They're holding teams now after being absolutely thrown away at the beginning of the year. They're finally starting to show some signs of defensive life. Offensively, they're still not that good. Cody Hawkins and Tyler Hansen, just a platoon of mediocrity at quarterback. Although the last time I said a set of quarterbacks is mediocre, we were beaten 62-14. So, kind of got to watch my mouth about that. Colorado has talented pieces, and Dan Hawkins, if you look at his Boise State record, is a fine coach. I don't know why he hasn't put it together in Boulder. And if there are any Buff fans who can tell me why it hasn't been put together, if there are any Colorado fans who watch this video, enlighten me. Tell me just what happened with Dan Hawkins. I thought it was going to be a great fit there, but obviously, it's not going so well there in Colorado. They're 2-6 now, I'm pretty sure. And I don't know. They brought in the number one running back in the recruiting class of 2008 with Darrell Scott, and they beat Texas out for Darrell Scott. So it's kind of surprising to see this team just so anemic offensively. Anyway, what does A&M have to do to win the game? Number one, don't fall asleep at the wheel. This is a good football team, and they've played 2 good weeks of football in a row. But if they fall asleep at the wheel, then a team like Colorado that does have some talent at some pieces can knock them off. That's just the truth. So they got to stay awake. They got to make sure that they're playing the same football they played against Texas Tech, the same football they played against Iowa State. And that all stays with running the football. Kristen Michael did a great job last week. Cyrus Gray was phenomenal last week running the football. And that all starts with the offensive line. If the offensive line doesn't get the same push it has the last 2 weeks, then we might be looking at a Colorado upset and a lot of fun comments on my YouTube video. So the offensive line has to perform. It has to open holes for Kristen Michael. It has to open holes for Cyrus Gray and even Gerard Johnson if he has to drop back and run the draw. Defensively, I know Cody Hawkins and Tyler Hansen, they're not superstars. But they can't let them get a rhythm. And that involves a good pass rush. Von Miller, maybe even bring Kyle Mangan a little bit. The defensive tackle combination of Tony Gerard, Eddie, and Eddie Brown really need to bring the heat on. And in the secondary, just don't give up any questionable balls. If they have an opportunity to bat it down, bat it down. Don't try to go for the interception. Ask Dustin Harris how that went. My prediction for this game, I think A&M will win, and I think they'll win semi-comfortably, maybe about 14 points. But in Colorado, it wouldn't surprise me if CU gave them a game. They played well in Kyle Field last year, but I think they were a more put-together Colorado team than this year, and A&M was a worse team than last year. I think A&M's gotten a little bit better. Colorado's gotten a little bit worse. But, I could be wrong. Colorado could win this game, but I think A&M will win. So my predicted score, I'll go Texas A&M, 31, Colorado 17. I don't think CU puts up a lot of points, and I think A&M does just enough to win. All right, guys. Thanks and gig 'em. I'll see you Sunday for the recap if I'm not too wiped out from the Dynamo game Sunday.